Get in. How do you like that?
The park.
What's that like here? Yes, it's getting closer and closer. More of that later.
Personally, I like to smell the Pete Smith's cooking instead.
It smells good. I'm not going to lie. It smells good.
Welcome to the Champions League show, lads. Get ready for that. Get ready for that next year because it's coming. Right, round the house. Pete, how are you?
I'm on top of the world right now. Got to be honest. There's no better way to describe it for me.
Martin?
Yeah, do you know what it is? We texted in the chat and I was like, I actually struggled to get my head around the whole first 20 minutes. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I'd actually been out. As you know, I was out last night and said I wouldn't be home late and staggered in at 3 a.m. So I've kind of been suffering with a hangover all day and I kind of flicked the match on late, would you believe? And we were already 2-0 up. So yeah, a great start to the game. But yeah, amazing. Like, what do you say? It's unbelievable.
Richie, was that the best 20 minutes of your life?
Gotta be careful here, haven't I think it's football. It was a loaded question, yeah. I think in football terms, yes, out of shadow of a doubt.
And Chris, has to be nice leading into your derby there coming up on Thursday. How are you feeling going into that?
Oh, mate, like absolutely amazing. Martin hit the nail on the head. Like we're watching that first 35 minutes was just like, it was just surreal. I think at one point I just had my head in my hands and I just wasn't even speaking. I was just like, I can't believe what we're witnessing. And literally, like, you know, I've been known to let off the odd shriek when a goal goes in, but honestly, like the high pitchedness of that shriek when Murphy hit that, like, couldn't believe it. And then to see his face, he was as shocked as all of us. It was just like, what a goal. But yeah, I know we're going to get into it, boys, but yeah. Yeah. It was just, it was just, what a first half that was. And yeah, massive 3 points. And yeah, feeling good, mate. I'm not going to lie. We've got Everton on Thursday, as you say. And then obviously us boys all getting together on Saturday, Sunday. So can't wait.
Bring it on. Just to the icing on the cake is that we're over this day next week. The Southampton game will be over, and we'll be out partying, hopefully celebrating another 3 points. Yes. Right, let us get into it, lads, and welcome everyone in the chat as well. Right, this was the team. This is our team. Okay, changes were Longstaff back in, and for Spurs, big change for them, and they might have regretted this change. We're going 4 at the back, so the Spurs manager is scratching his head still. Where did it all go wrong for them? But any surprises with our team first? Happy enough with the selection, or I think you put it, Chris. Let's go with you first, Chris. You said as expected, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the team was pretty much as I expected. I think it would have been, I know some people were calling for Miggy to come back in place of maybe Murphy, but I thought that would have been harsh. But so no, I mean, as soon as I saw the lineup, I thought perfect. That's exactly what I would have gone for, because you know, it really you could argue, other than maybe Almond on this season, that's probably been our strongest 11. So yeah, I was delighted with the lineup, like really pleased, and I was encouraged to see the Howard stuck with Isaac, because I thought that was the right decision, particularly for this game.
Nice. Anyone else comments on the selection?
I think it was good to see Longstaff back, and I know we've all given him shit over time. Yeah. I have.
Not all of us.
Twitter has. Not all of us.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
But I think what was glaringly obvious was last week we missed him at Villa. Just that doing the dirty stuff. I think Pete, you said it a couple of weeks back, doing the shit that nobody actually sees in the game, because you're not really talking about him. But some of the subtle passes, some of the ball blocking, working alongside Bruno, I think just really frees up Bruno to do a bit more and a bit more passing. So I think Longstaff coming back in was massive for us today. So yeah, that was good to see. I think same thing. I think if Murphy had got dropped, I think it would have been really unfair. He's been He's been really good recently. So yeah, look, great to see Isaac starting again. I think Eddie wasn't gonna change it too much. I think the only thing first, kind of, even though we were kind of well up, Burn looks wrecked. Like that first kind of half, he looked.
He always does, though.
I know, but he kind of came good second half. But he just, I was surprised that like we didn't, with 5-0 up, we didn't, when that 60-minute changes, that we didn't bring Target on for a while. I didn't really get it, but no, kind of is what it is, I guess. But yeah, no, good team.
Personally, for me, I wanted to kind of focus because Chris and Mark have been spot on with the Newcastle lineup. I wanted to talk about the other lineup from that shower shit that we played against today. That lineup there, if you look at that, and to be fair, Kieran Dyer on Sky was absolutely spot on. He's not normally, but he was today, because what he said is that they changed the team for us.
Yeah.
When I looked at that team, I looked at the team, I was thinking, I was thinking, where's the third centre back? And thought, oh, okay, they've set up to match us. And I thought, when you've got a team, and Kieran Dyer was spot on with this, when you've got a team that's changing their formation to try and counteract you, you've got them. You know that they're worried about you.
Yeah. Their back four was shocking, because that when we did the Spurs show, Pete, with Marlon, and we were like, we thought it would be Wanjuma, and I said, you know what, I was a bit worried about Kulusevski if he played up against Byrne. He was non-existent, but like a back four with Dyer in the middle. For them, and Perisic as a whatever he was, a fucking attacking left back, not back. When I seen that, I said, do you know what? With that and Højbjerg in the middle, like we run riot, which is what we said to Marlon on Thursday night.
Well, honestly, you've got Pedro Porro, who they signed for big money, and you've got Perisic. Neither of them are fullbacks. Yeah. Neither of them are. Pedro Porro was signed as a wing-back to play in a 3-man defence and play with 2 wing-backs. That's what, ultimately, for years, that's what Tottenham have tried to play as. Yeah. And they brought him specifically with that. He's never played full-back. He's not a full-back. Perisic is a winger. Perisic in his point was a winger. He isn't even a wing-back. And then they made him play left-back. At that point, you're thinking, you're just putting like round pegs in square holes here. Like
Steve Bruce-esque.
Yeah, exactly that. You know what, Mark? Spot on. I don't need to say anymore.
Yeah. Right. Let us move on. And before we do, just a reminder to people, we want you to hit that subscribe button if you're new and you're just finding us, and also hit that like button. I think we'll set a target of likes here. I want to see 400 likes. 400 likes this time for a 6-1 win. I think that's fairly acceptable. 400 likes I want to see after the next couple of days out with this one. Rightio, let us get into it. And there's a lot to get through here. So first up, usually we there's an attack on us at the start of the game, but we're turned it full tilt this time. Murphy goal after 1 minute. J7 had a nice little run, shot parried by Hugo Lloris, who's going to retire after today, I think. And yeah, Murphy followed up, and lovely fair play, Murfinho, as they're going to call him from now on, Murfinho. What do you think of the first goal, lads? Because there's a lot to get through here. Pete, let's go to you first.
Just carve through their defence like butter, if I'm honest. Really nice play. We played a lot of really nice switch ball play today. Really caused them problems, as me and Mark talked about before. Their fullbacks just didn't know what to do with that switch ball play. And to be fair, you look at it, Joe Linton's just kind of glided into the box, like unopposed and able to get a shot off. Like it's just like for Joe Linton, you're not going to get an easy opportunity. And it's very much Murphy was in the right place at the right time. He was in the right positions. We want him to do certain things in games. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But where you want him is exactly where he was today, in and around the fullback, sniffing, first to react in there. And it's not an easy finish. You watch it back. There's a little angle that they show from Sky Sports angle. It's a tight angle, so there's a lot to do there. Yeah. And I think he talks about it in one of his interviews after the game, where I think Matt Ritchie and Eddie Howe have been talking about when you're in those narrow positions, hit the ball high up into the goal. And it's really weird that they've talked about that this week, and then he gets the opportunity and does exactly that. And it's not an easy finish, but he made it look easy, and it was the perfect start.
Mart, you want to get into that one?
Yeah, I think same thing. Do you know what? I think the games he's played, to be fair to Murphy, I think one of the things we've all spoke about is he's been unlucky with sometimes his final choice and when he's had opportunities to finish in. And it's obvious, I think, certainly second half of this season, it's something the coaching staff have obviously worked really hard with him on, because he's been putting the ball in the net. You know, he's got the 2 goals today. You know, 2 goals in a game. You know, Richarlison hasn't even got a goal all season. So it just shows you where Murphy is in comparison. So yeah, look, it's great. It's great to see him. As Pete said, it wasn't an easy finish to get it in from that angle, but yeah, all fair dues to the kid. He took it really, really well. It's a great goal.
Richie,
and a great start.
Great start, right? Richie, Anthony Murphy's first goal.
Well, do you know what we talked about it last week and the show midweek when we said that Newcastle had to start quick, and boy, it didn't start quick. You know, we've been slow. Oh, like those away games, but boy, oh boy. We hit them where it hurts straight away. You know, I think we won possession back within the first 30 seconds, didn't we? And then after that, it just they'll complete disarray. But the build-up play was fantastic, and it was a lovely finish by Murphy. To be fair, it's, do you know what? It's amazing that he's obviously his second goal, our third that we'll get onto shortly, was actually a much better goal than his other one. So it's. But yeah, fantastic start. Couldn't have asked for anything better, and then obviously it gets better within the next 19 minutes. So
it sure does. It sure does. Don't spoil it for anyone. But Chris, we go to you. And like at the start of the season, you singled out Murphy as the player that was going to lead the revolution for Newcastle, didn't you? He was your key player. I think you were going to get a tattoo or something as well of him. But
don't start that. Don't start that.
I'm not going there. Don't worry. I'm not going there. Yeah. And on the first goal, Chris.
Oh, mate, I'll be honest, when you were all whipping around, I was thinking, I just can't wait to get onto the second goal, the third goal, the fourth goal. But yeah, no, the first goal, I think, like Pete said, it was a difficult finish. It actually looks, when you seen him first hit it, you think, oh yeah, you know, he's put it into an empty net, but he could have quite easily missed that. So it was a good finish. But again, really, really surprised with how Tottenham just stood off Joe Linton. They were absolutely petrified of him. And that was like, what, 30, 40 seconds in? He was literally he glided from the left-hand side all the way across. And funnily enough, when I was watching, you know, the match, I was thinking to myself, just imagine if Maxi was playing in that game. Like, they would have literally, he would have ran a mock. If he was up for it, he would have ran an absolute mock in terms of, you know, just running at the players, because Pedro Porro, Sarr, Dyer, they just didn't want to know. They just did not want to know. But yeah, great finish from Murphy. Yeah, really good finish.
Look at that. You're not happy with 6 goals. You want more. Like that, Chris.
Isn't it great though, Chris, that we didn't even need Maxi today.
No.
We didn't even need him in the squad.
No.
That's what a squad of football should be.
Yeah.
But when a player is missing, you don't need him because other players step in and do the business. That, for me, just. Wow.
That's what the well, you know, maybe we can class ourselves as that soon. That's what the big teams do, though. That's what they do. Man City, you know, if a Foden's out, it's like, oh, it's all right. Mahrez will come in, or Grealish will come in, or Bernardo Silva will come in. This is what we need, and you know, as time goes on, I'm sure next season it'll look even better. It's all positive, isn't it?
Well, you know how we can't show the goals live on the show, but it's nice of Martin to show it in the background. Love that, Martin. Nice little touch there.
Love that, Martin.
Let's get on to that next goal. As you can see, Joe Linton putting it away. So on 5 minutes, the absolute, again, same as the West Ham game, the ball by Schär. Perfect. And Joe Linton, that run he did again to miss to avoid the offside. The touch, as you said, Chris, is unbelievable. And round the keeper again. He went the opposite side against West Ham, round the keeper, for Lloris's last ever game of football. 2-0. Newcastle, thank you very much. After 5 minutes, we're 2-0 up against one of our closest rivals for a Champions League spot. What is going on? Richie, we'll go to you first for Joe Linton's goal.
I think you pretty much summed it up there perfectly, Daz. You know, it was that ball that Shaw's got with Joe Linton. They've obviously got to understand they've been doing it in training, but if you actually look from when obviously the ball was played out, and it's the run that Joe Linton makes. You see him tracking back, so he's offside, and all of a sudden when he realizes that that ball is going to be played, he just goes back a little bit quicker, and then just as the ball's in, he's curved the run and he's gone, and I think it sailed over the centre half. I think it was Romero's head. It didn't look like he was nowhere near it. But as Chris said in the chat when he went on it, that touch was absolutely impeccable. Just to control it from that distance and that speed, get it down, knock it onto his right. He's not right foot. He's a left foot. So to do that and go to the right foot, go around Lloris like he was, a Sunday league keeper, to be fair, and then just a nice calm finish with his wrong foot. Fantastic. To be fair, I think all the goals are fantastic today, but I think obviously we'll let Mark get on to the next one, on at the second goal again.
Yeah, no, just obviously you just hear it live on Sky. We're replaying. We'll probably get a strike. Mike, what's going on?
Oh, we can hear you.
I put a different mic on. Yeah, it's freaking out. Second goal was a beaut. I think it was nigh on an exact carbon copy of the goal against West Ham he got. Same thing, the ball over the top from Shaw. He bends the run, kind of pulls back in behind the defensive line, curves the run straight back out, round the keeper, and a great finish. So, yeah, listen, Joe Linton is just on fire at the moment. I think one of the best players we've got on the park, has been for a while. Cracking.
Chris, we'll go to you next for Joe Linton's goal. Anything else you want to say?
Mate, just the touch. The touch is it's absolutely ridiculous. The pace, Shaw fizzes it, and it's one of those balls that's like traveling at high speed, but it's direct. But the way he just brings it down, has the composure to kind of settle himself. So the touch in itself to control the ball is brilliant. The fact that he lets it go, just over a yard in front of him, then changes direction, goes round the keeper. It's just a brilliant. Do you know what? I've been kind of arguing with myself for the past half an hour before we come on, thinking, is that my favourite goal, or is the Murphy one my favourite goal? Because it's just like the ability to be able to do that is brilliant, especially when it comes from Joe Linton. And in the past, we've all gone, oh, he's not a striker, and he fluffs his lines, he gets a nosebleed when he gets near the 18-yard box, and then he goes and does that. It's like, oh, and what I also wanted to add, and forgive me, I've forgotten the names. The two commentators, or the two people in the Sky studio who were saying about Shaw and that lucky through ball, I hope they were watching today. Bullshit. Because that's what Shaw does all the time. And Shaw's obviously got lucky again
every
today.
Time.
Yeah. 60% of the time, every time. It's like, that ball is just, honestly, it's just brilliant. Brilliant ball from Shaw, and even better from Joe Linton. Just a fantastic goal, and that's all I can say.
You still stock that product in Avon, that cologne. No,
which
no, it's back to the old days. Back a year and a half ago. That joke. Right, yeah, Pete, your thoughts on J7?
It's good to know as well. Just obviously breaking on Loaded Mag here. Chris loves a good touch.
It was brilliant, mate. It was just the best touch in the world. It was. It was.
As long as you're happy with the touch, then we can sleep well.
That's your Avon punchline, isn't it, Chris? You like a good touch up.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Yeah. Let's move on. Pete, do you want to head back in the game? Do you want to go for the Joe Linton's goal and answer about the touch?
Talk about the touch, Pete. Talk about the touch.
For Pete's sake. No, it was. You boys have summed it up really, really well. It's a superb goal. What I would say is that Jamie Redknapp was the guy that was questioning whether it was a genuine against West Ham. He was at St James's Park. There's no question that is a planned movement. They even showed it from a Sky point of view, the back of Joe Linton, and the way he bends his run, and he's signalling to Shaw early on. He's pointing to where he wants to go, and then he bends the run in. And Pedro Porro, he ain't got a fucking clue where Joe Linton's at, and it's just brilliant. You said the touch almost gives Lloris hope that he can get there, but it's so good and he's so quick. He just takes the ball past him, and yeah, as Dad said, it's probably his retirement game, if I'm honest.
Yeah. He only lasted 45 minutes. That was it. Right, let's fast forward 8 minutes. 8 minutes into the game, 3 minutes after our second goal, we go 3-0 up. An absolute thunder bastard from Murphinho. Wow. Chris, I'm coming to you for that one because you've been raving out this one. And your favorite player?
Oh, Daz, honestly, like literally the highest pitch scream ever. I didn't actually know what to do. I just, my mind had gone. Yeah, I was like that. It literally, my mind just went. I couldn't believe, of all the people, it was him. And it was just a great finish. I mean, I watched it back a couple of times and I did think to myself, why is Lloris not moved? Why is he not moved? Because he must have seen it coming and at least attempted to go for it. But he was just like, he just stood still and watched it. But what a finish. And as we always say about Jacob Murphy, you know, like delighted for him because that will have meant so much to him scoring that goal. And it was just, I've just realised, I've just seen Joe Willock. Wait till we talk about that assist. But anyway, yeah, absolutely brilliant finish from Jacob Murphy. And really showing Eddie Howe why he's got to be, at the moment, is he one of the first names on the team sheet? He's playing absolutely brilliantly. So, yeah, it was made up for him. Fantastic finish.
I'm going to go to Pete next, but actually, in our new chat that we're in, Martin, the Irish Two Fans chat, which drains your phone, by the way.
It does drain your phone.
Kills your phone. Our phones are dead from it. It's absolutely class. Though. Great banter. Yeah. One of the lads in the chat said, he did say this at halftime, but he says, take Murphy off and wrap him in cotton wool. Who would have thought you'd ever hear those words?
Yes.
That wow. I'm glad that Longstaff's back in one game. It's just like,
yeah, it's unreal. Pete, let's get your thoughts on Murphinho and that goal.
Just before I do that, I think it's important to recognise Lee Carr. Sorry to take the chat away from you. Lee Carr's just becoming a new member to the channel.
Welcome, Lee.
Family. And just to let everyone know, the super chat is open. And thank you very much for super chat, super stickers. Thank you, Drew.
Drew. Thank you, mate.
Really appreciate that. And he's back. Jordy Mick's back.
Welcome back, Jordy Mick.
Welcome back, mate.
Great to see you in the chat. Looking forward to some beers with you guys next week. And we're looking forward to meeting with you and having a few, that's for sure. So, yeah, super chats are open. Thank you for your contribution so far. But, look, Murphy said it very, very well. When you're confident, you're feeling juicy. And when you're feeling juicy, you produce moments of magic. And moments of magic happen
right
today. And he was certainly feeling juicy today. And that was a juicy piece of brilliance.
Juicy touches. We've gone from loaded mag to porn mag.
When you're feeling juicy, you produce moments of magic, and not even the retired Hugo Lloris could do anything about that. It was an outstanding piece of skill and ability. We've said it on previous shows before when we talked about Jacob Murphy. It might have been last week, Chris. I think we were talking about with the Villa guys. Jacob Murphy can strike a ball really, really well, but at times he just misses the target. He's just off target, but he always strikes the ball with meaning every time he hits the ball. But today, there was no stopping that. When he hits the target, it stays hit. Superb goal. Very juicy.
Very juicy.
Heat.
We're feeling juicy.
Feeling juicy, baby. Feeling juicy.
There you go.
We're afraid to go to Martin next. Martin.
We've now turned to the radio station, Late Night Love. We're all feeling juicy.
Jules is at it now. Jesus Christ.
It was a 60 performance, though, wasn't it, lads? Really?
It was. Yeah. And any more comments on the goal, Martin? I think we're going to go to you next.
No, enough said. Listen, it was as you said, a thunder bastard. And I think just his reaction afterwards, I've actually changed the picture of that to my profile picture on Twitter because it's just fucking class. So yeah, no, it was a hit. Well done, mate. Fair play, buddy.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, no, it's an absolute cracker. I think he was probably, as unexpected as the rest of us when he hit it. But yeah, like Juicy said, fuck.
Yes.
That's it now.
Gonna stick now. What's going on?
What is really juicy today?
Brain has gone to mush. Yeah, just fucking move on. I don't know what I'm talking about. Carry on.
Yes, let's move on. Richie, was that you want? Go on, Pete.
I was going to say, really sorry to interrupt. Thank you to Up the A1 for your contribution. But if you're going to put a super chat in or a super sticker, throw a question out there. Throw something out there for us. You deserve for us to answer your question if you're putting a contribution is. So throw it in there.
Richie, did you want to talk about the goal?
Well, to be fair, you have said anything. I think the one thing I will say is, the first two goals, I screamed. I was like, get in. I'm sure the neighbour down the bottom of the road must have heard us. It was that loud, the first two. The third one went in, I just laughed. It was unbelievable. It was just, you just couldn't believe it was happening. And I must admit, every goal that went in after that, I just laughed because it was just beyond belief. It was weird. It goes on towards the end of the game, and it's like, when the lads were walking around the pitch afterwards, normally, if you've won, you look at the Man United game, the fact they were really up for it, and they were cheering the fans, they couldn't believe it. And they were today. It was just like, yeah, job done. Cheers. It was like it's just going to be the norm going forward. You know what I mean? It was just, I think it's because when you have those close games and it's like, there's a goal either way, or there's a couple of goals in it. It's really hard fought. I think obviously Newcastle killed that game off in 20 minutes. And after that, it was just like an exhibition game. It was like a pre-season friendly that you might see in Atlanta, for example, like a lot of our viewers might in the summer. But it was just class. And then obviously for me, goal of the game, the next one, the fourth one, goal of the game for me.
Let's get to that. And before we do, just when I was showing the goals back to my little boy, and he saw Marfinho's goal, he said, the goalie wasn't ready, and that's the point. He wasn't ready. None of them, the Spurs team, were ready for what came at them in that first 20 minutes.
That's just on that point. Well, I don't know if anyone saw the interview with Stielini at the end.
Yeah,
he turned around and said that they weren't prepared enough, and you think, hold on, that's your fault. That's your job to have your team prepared.
The fucking manager.
Are you shooting yourself in the foot? I know you've got the job till the end of the season, but how you can't really turn on and tell that you've got internationals in that squad who, England captain, you've got Lloris who's the captain, then the French captain, other internationals for different nations, and you turn on and say you can't get your team ready. For fuck's sake, I've heard it all now. I really have.
He's the Cockney Steve Bruce. Long mate.
Sorry, apologies for that.
The Italian.
More of that coming up later. Right, let's move on. Let's go to. We're already on 8 minutes, lads. 12 minutes. Kane had a shot just wide. Moving on from that. Ball. Yes. Okay. This is the goal as well. Ball from Willock. Outside the foot.
Pass of the season all day long.
We're going to go to you, Richie, first for this one, and Isak with the finish. 4-0 Newcastle after 18 minutes. Richie, what was your thoughts on Isak's first goal?
Well, for a start, that's the pass of the season from Willock. You'll not see a better pass when he went to the fact. At the end of the half time, Jamie Redknapp actually said that was the pass of the season. To try that from you're in your own half with the outside of the technique to be able to do that. Obviously, anyone who's played football, to play a ball with the outside of your foot's got to be. You tend to do that as a cute pass, don't you? Or you're like a little 1-2 or a little through ball. To play, you're probably a 60-yard pass realistically by the time the ball goes from out wide to the middle. 60-yard pass with that much pace, that accuracy with the outside of your foot, it's exquisite. It really, really is. And it was like the perfect place. Isak didn't even have to check his run. Nothing. It was right into him, so he could touch it first time, under control, put it in front of him again, another touch, exactly where he wanted it. Boom, bottom corner. It's the perfect striker's finish. You always say, get your head over the ball, across the goal, bottom corner. It was perfect attacking football to a T. You could not ask for more. Really, really couldn't. But that pass, you know what? It's one of those ones where you see people like, like Shaw doesn't get the credit for the pass on the second one, really, because obviously we said, he didn't do it in the West Ham one. If Ruud Gullit had done that one 20 odd years ago, everyone would have been, up his arse about it, because Gullit was capable of those passes. And it's the same thing. If you see someone like Bruno Fernandes making that pass, everyone will be going, it's Bruno Fernandes, he's that type of player. Willock needs to get the credit. That pass is audacious. It really, really is. It was just exquisite, as I said. Could not get a better pass this season.
And the only place, Richie, you're going to see a pass similar to that is next Saturday. Because where are you going to see it? At our charity game. Charity game at the foundation. 29th of April against Newcastle Fans TV. And all proceeds for that charity game go towards the Gateshead Food Bank. So the link is actually pinned to the top of this YouTube video as well. If you want to donate, and the Just Giving link will get you in there. You can donate directly, and all the proceeds then go directly to the Gateshead Food Bank. Martin, let's go to you next for whose goal was it? No, it was
Isak's first.
Isak's first, yeah.
I'll very simply say this about this goal. If that passes De Bruyne and Haaland finishes, Sky pundits and BBC pundits are wanking themselves stupid all night long, and that is getting replayed on Sky.
You're right.
Time and time and time and time again. That pass will not be talked about enough in the next few days on Sky or anywhere else. If that was De Bruyne to Haaland, that gets replayed time and time and time and time again. It's that simple. It was world class. World class. Yeah. Simple as that.
Exactly. No, and Isak appreciated it. You could see it in the celebration afterwards. He was pointed towards Willock, and it was all him to set it up. Pete, let's go to you for that one.
This is what we've been saying for weeks now. Joe Willock will at some point in the next year play for England. There is no doubt about it. He will play for England because he is what England is missing right now. He has everything about his game to take himself to that international level. Even Jamie Redknapp's been calling for him the last few weeks to be considered for England. If he's not in the England squad at the end of the season, he will be at some point next season. This guy is playing some outstanding football at the moment. To try that is Kevin De Bruyne level. Kevin De Bruyne level type passing. And he did it seamlessly. And Will, thank you for your donation.
Cheers, Will.
Chat as well. And yeah, he is well within his rights of being considered as man of the match. Although he didn't score, because he gives so much to the team. Eddie Howe said it after the game. His work rate, like not even in question. His ability on the ball, not in question. The only issue is that his ability to get back and his defensive capabilities. He's nailed that. The amount of times he got back in, the amount of times he made crucial tackles, the amount of times he was coming in to cover his centre midfield partner or cover a fullback. He's doing everything he needs to be doing to be considered an international recognised player. He's doing it better than the current international recognised players right now. He is on a different level right now. And we're sitting third in the league, and he should be given more respect than he is being given currently. And that's what I'll say about what Joe Willock. He's not given the respect that he would be. If he was sat in Arsenal's team doing that right now, everyone in this country would be going absolutely mad, falling head over heels for Joe Willock. The fact that he's doing it for Newcastle means he doesn't get the respect that he should do, right? Joe Willock was fantastic today. That ball was outstanding. And there is no better player to come on the end of that ball than Alexander Isak. And Alexander Isak, do not Do not discredit the finish. The finish was fantastic. It's not easy in that position. One-on-ones are not easy. But he finished that in the only place he could have, in that far corner, and it was finished to perfection. And we also have to thank our lucky stars. We paid a lot of money for him, but we have to thank our lucky stars that we've got Alexander Isak in our team. And I know we'll talk about his second goal as well, but this guy will break records for Newcastle. He will be up there as one of our top goal scorers if we keep him in, if he stays in our team, which I believe he will. He will go on to do big things for Newcastle United because he is a player, for me. I don't believe in the 30 years that I've supported Newcastle United, I don't believe we've had a striker like Alexander Isak in our team. In the 30 years I've supported Newcastle United, he is, and I say this wholeheartedly, he is the complete striker. He is the complete forward. He can do everything.
The closest one, Pete.
Sorry?
The closest one's probably Remy. The closest, I would say.
See, I would have said Demba Ba.
I'd have said,
yeah.
But Remy, are very close. That can do a bit of everything. But I tell you what, Alexander Isak can do a bit of everything, but do it very, very well in all areas. He is so good.
Cheers, Andy.
And
he's having the same kind of startup as Cisse did.
He is, but you know for a fact that Alexander is. They said it on Sky today. Trippier has been talking to Danny Rose, and I'll talk about Danny Rose a little bit later on. He was talking to him before the game, and he's already said next season Trippier expects Alexander Isak to get 20 goals plus. And you know what? I genuinely believe that he scored 10 goals in 15 games. And those 15 games that he's played, he's not even started all of them.
10 starts.
10
starts.
10 starts, 10 goals. Like that, for me, that record should not be discounted at all. He has been outstanding for us in the games that he's played. And, you know, the ball from Willock, outstanding. The finish from Isak, outstanding. And for me,
Chippers.
You know what? Great to see Chippers in the chat. I've not seen him for a while, so great to see him in there. Thank you.
Yeah, I was chatting to Chippers today on Insta. I just said, it's time for a private pile haircut. He was giving out about his haircut, so he's getting his haircut. Nice one, Chippers. Take that advice.
Hopefully, you know what? Hopefully, he can pop over and see us next week.
Yeah,
if you're about Chippers, pop over and see us. But look, I've been waxing lyrical about Alexander Isak and Joe Willock. Thank you for all the contributions, the donations, super chats, super stickers, all the rest of it. We really, really do appreciate it, and they're all much appreciated by the lads. But Alexander Isak, he is a proper player, and there's a lot of teams now that are looking at him thinking, "Wow, we've missed out." And again, like Sven Botman, like Bruno Guimaraes, people are now seeing a player that Newcastle United scouts have picked out, have gone in there and said, there's the money, we want him because we know what he's capable of, and we're seeing the fruits of our labour. And big up to all of the scouting system since these new owners and Eddie Howe come in, because they have done it. They've done it again. They've signed an absolute gem.
Nice one. And I'd love to see Willock come on or start and score against Arsenal. That really, really be the icing on the cake for Willock. Chris, your thoughts on that goal, whatever that goal was?
Isak's first, and obviously the pass. I think the lads have summed it up really well. Like, that pass from Willock was absolutely superb. And what I even more so agree with is when, you know, I think it was Martin who was saying, like, that won't get the coverage it deserves. And, you know, it's criminal, really, because that pass was absolutely first class. But do you know what, as well, what I also want to mention, like, some people may have taken for granted, you know, that Isak scored that. But when you watch it back, Isak still had quite a lot to do. But he did it incredibly well. And isn't it nice, based on what Pete's just been saying, isn't it nice having a striker who, you know, he's got the pace, you know, he's got the strength, you know, he's got the skill. So when he was going through on goal, I wasn't thinking, oh, is he going to do it? Is he going to finish it? I knew he was going to put it in the back of the net. Like, he's so clinical. I just want to add in here what N9 NEWFC says. Demba Ba wasn't as silky as Isak. And like, you know what? That I think that's why I thought of Loic Remy when I was talking about Isak, because Loic Remy had that. He almost, you can tell that Isak models himself on Henry, because he's just got. It's the way he glides around the pitch, and Remy reminded me of that. Like Demba Ba, fantastic finisher, and like really, really big fan of Demba Ba and Papi Cisse or Martin mentioned. But I think in terms of that quality on the ball and that ability to, you know, be able to take anyone on and finish it, and that turn of pace as well. And as I say, if we'd have kept hold of Loic Remy, who knew what would have happened. But yeah, Alexander Isak, other than Haaland, he's got to be the most exciting forward in the league at the minute.
Yeah.
Easily.
And
he's ours.
And as I see over your shoulders,
he's smashing it. He's only second to Haaland.
Yeah.
Over your shoulder there, Chris, I can see you trying first. Welcome, summer.
The only one in the Lodi family that's actually got a song, a song for themselves.
Yeah. I haven't even got a song. You've got a song. I haven't got one. Oh, yeah.
We have to play it again. Hang on. Woo! Right, let us move on. Let's go to the next goal. Great passing move by Newcastle. Isak started off. I can't remember who he passed it up, but then Longstaff got it and passed it back into Isak again. And goal number 5-0 at this stage. And I want to talk about the goal first, but then I want to talk about something else afterwards. Pete, I'm going to go to you first for that Isak's second goal on 20 minutes.
Well, another fantastic goal. And at that point, Tottenham had done. And it was always going to be a question of, were we going to continue to kind of turn the screw, or were we going to sit back? It was very, very clear. We were still pressing high. We were still pushing them into corners. We were still causing them problems off the back of it. And it's a great little ball in that falls to Isak. And nobody wants to go to the ball from a Tottenham perspective. And Isak's going, you know what? If you're not going to come to me, I'll take the shot. And, you know, you could maybe argue in some Tottenham circles, they've maybe argued that Luis could have done better. He probably could have. John Joe, absolutely stuff. And yes, there was a certain puzzle that they needed to work out. They didn't. Very, very clearly. But look, there's an argument that Luis could have done a little bit better with it. But again, it was a great strike into the far corner. And Isak's not going to miss up or not take up those sort of opportunities when they're presented to him. And look, as I said it to you boys at the time, 10 goals for the season. I think we've made history. Keith, if you're in the chat, you may want to confirm this. First time that 3 players in the squad have scored 10 goals plus in a season.
Yeah, that's right. Correct.
We talked about it on the away days a couple of weeks ago, that would be the first time if it happened. I was always convinced that if Isak was going to get a run of games, he'd get double figures. He's got it. Well deserved. Outstanding stuff. Tom, you gave a contribution earlier attempt. Now a member. Amazing stuff. There's plenty of draws coming up.
We'll do the draw tomorrow because there's an awful lot of new members coming in, and instead of me adding them to the wheel now, let's do the draw. We add back to the show tomorrow, and then everyone's in. You know what? Before I go to you, Mark, and go and get your thoughts on Isak's second goal, I just want to check with you, Mark. Do you have any relation that might be a Spurs fan and would have gone to the game? No. Okay. Well, no. There was this guy at the match. At 20 minutes. I think he was going home though. I don't know where he was going after 20 minutes.
I've never left the game after fucking 20 minutes. I'm going now. I've had enough of this shit. Wankers. That's it. I'm off. Gone. Ta-da. We're all off. We're going. We've had enough. Bunch of fucking wankers. No passion, nothing, the cunts. I'm going. I'm had enough. Newcastle United 5, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Wankers. Fucking wankers, a lot of them. We're on once again.
Cheerio. Cheerio.
Yeah, he's definitely not my family, but if he does want to adopt me, I'm more than happy because that's just brilliant. That's quality.
That's your man, that isn't it, Mark?
All I've done all afternoon since that game is I've been watching. I think I put something out. I've been watching. Cheers, David.
Cheers, David. Thanks for me.
You know what?
That's me and Chris sorted.
I was saying that covers Pete's brandy and Martin's pint.
Yep.
Are you sure?
You haven't seen his brandy?
I don't think so. But no, David, to be fair, David Cook has been a massive contributor to the channel over recent months. In particular, always seen in the chat, every single show, always contributing with questions. Top man. Thank you very much. And come and join us if you're around, if you're in the area. Come and join us on Saturday.
I think David's up near Scotland somewhere, but shout out to Ian Toon Trailer because David wants to get in contact with you. We're trying to find your handle on YouTube on Twitter today, but so contact David is the message. Ian Toon Trailer because he wants to get in contact over something. Right, that's we see. And Anton, anyone want to talk more about that fifth goal?
No.
Okay, let's move on. Because at that stage, we're 5-0 up at halftime, which is absolutely ridiculous. And then, Pete, there was some alerts, I believe, going on in England as well, in the UK. There was alerts going on. Did you guys get this one?
That was the alert I got anyway. That was the alert. I said that to you, and I was like, Dad, did you get this alert? Because I got that alert. Did anyone else get that alert? I did.
Definitely the fella leaving on 20 miles got it. He definitely got it.
I've just seen a comment from David R. Rich, I'm sorry, I'm just going to pinch this, mate. I've only just read it in the section. If this is true, it's absolutely brilliant. Read that.
I was going to say it
doesn't say a lot for service though in St James's, does it?
No. It took about 18 minutes to sort that out.
Before we move on, David R's also got the one I've actually started as well, so I'll put it on now because it's an interesting one. Will Daz be getting a Jacob Murphy tattoo? Maybe with a cheeky little Paul.
The Paul?
Well,
Chris to that one.
To a couple of shops next
Sorry, Daz.
Right, let's move on.
Juicy. Jason,
Juicy Jacob.
Juicy Jacob. Yeah, that works. Right. Let's move on. Where are we now? Yeah, okay. Well, I never talked to the last bit of that first half, but yeah, Bruno was limping as well. There was kind of a bit of a worry there for a while. Spurs are picking up a lot of yellow cards. There was a foul on Longstaff. Willock played on, took the shot. We would have got a free kick if it could have potentially got it anyway. And Trippier, that was going in the net if he got that free kick. And that's just before halftime. Longstaff. Just hit a wide of the post. So that was really the first half, and I was running out of paper. But let's get into that second half. Second half, yes, Hugo Lloris retired. He was hooked, and Fraser Foster, come on. 48 minutes, Kane goal. Spurs got one back. We moved past Char, and yeah, it was 5-1. Any thoughts on that one? And anyone want to bring a bit of negativity to the show or anything on that one?
Shaw's defending was really poor for that.
Chris does.
Yeah, totally agree with Martin. I thought Fabian Shaw was really poor for that goal, by the way. And
Pope as well, by the way. Pope should have stopped that.
Pete's mentioned this on a couple of occasions. Pope's positioning for that goal was poor.
Awful, yeah.
Poor. But I don't want to turn it too negative. That's
exactly,
it, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's
it. To be fair, the only thing I'll say about that goal, and look, I'm not going to say it as a negative because it's just not like because we absolutely smashed the fuck out of them. But what I will say is that Shaw should have held him off longer. It was almost like he was overconfident because we were winning and we were smashing it. He was flinging himself into challenges. He did it in the first half a couple of times and got away with it just. Stephen, another regular Stephen recently. Absolutely top stuff, and there's somebody else as well. I'm just going to steal the chat 1 second. David R. He's spot on. So thank you very much. And anyone else that wants to become a member, they've already set the draw. It's going to happen. So get your memberships in as soon as possible. What I will say is that, like, normally, players, they were racing back to support Shaw. Now, what he should have done is he didn't need to dive in. He should have just kind of just jockeyed him away from goal, and allowed the other players to get back into supporting. We did it really, really well in the first half. Particularly Dan Burn did it well with Kulusevski. He jockeyed him, and allowed the likes of Willock and one or two others to get back in. So then there was 3 men around him, and then they couldn't go anywhere. Son really went in the second half on the left hand side, but on the right hand side. But initially, in that goal, he was 1-on-1, and I think it was just a moment of madness or just an overconfidence about it. He didn't do it again after that. That was the only time in the game he did it, and it's such a shame that it happened, because this team deserved a clean sheet today. Tottenham did not deserve it at all. They were not good enough to score a goal. Like, they scored one, fair enough. They caught us off guard for a split second, but that was the only time in the game that they looked even remotely like scoring a goal, which is a shame. But look, it's 1 goal. We scored 6.
Yeah.
I ain't bothered.
And do you know what, Pete? And do you know what? It's important to point out as well. If the game was 1-0, that goal doesn't go in, because we'd have reacted differently to it. At the time, I think we were 5-0 up. So it's like,
Definitely.
Yeah. Just a reminder as well that to anyone who's new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and also make sure you hit that like button. We set a target at the start of the show of 400 likes, so we want to try and achieve that. And because we're heading to the Champions League, lads. We're heading to the Champions League, so we need to get all the likes we can to boost our numbers. Right. Let us move on. Next up, 51 minutes. Longstaff had a shot / cross. No one got onto it. It was fizzed across, but Isak nearly did get his head to it somewhere. Isak loses the ball as well at one stage, but he makes a busts along to get back and win it back. Just shows the passion. We're 5-1 up at this stage, and it's still giving everything. Then on come the subs. Isak and Murphy off. Wilson and Miggy on. Didn't have to wait too long. 1 minute later, here he is. Wilson goal. Miggy had his shot. It was deflected, deflected, and Wilson collects it, taps in the back of the net. Cue the mute celebrations. It was like we're just scoring too many goals here. Like, he was expecting it at that stage, but it was strange, and it was just. I don't think that was strange. It was just very calm kind of celebration.
It's
I think he was happy enough. Yeah. He kind of gave it the usual kind of salute at the end. I think it was just. I think it probably didn't expect the chance to come so quick. He was
embarrassed.
He was only on the pitch 60 seconds.
I think. When you talk about Wilson, I thought you meant about the crowd. The crowd.
No. Just Wilson's reaction. No, the crowd was loving it.
I think he was being cool.
Yeah, he's being cool. He was trying to be the nice man.
Do you think he was pissed off for being dropped, Pete?
Yeah. If anyone's watches podcast, football podcast. If anyone's listened to that, he has not hidden from the fact that he is pissed off that he's not playing at the moment.
Yeah,
I think genuinely he understands why, and I think genuinely he's got a great relationship with Isak, and I think he knows that Isak's good enough to start, and in his, without sounding horrible, playing better than him at the moment overall. And I think he knows he deserves his spot. But I think he's pissed off. I think he's genuinely pissed off because he is a driven, motivated guy. He's used to being the main man. Bournemouth, for years, he was the main man. He's coming to Newcastle, number 9 on the back of his shirt, the main man. Now, he's almost having to play second fiddle to a guy that, let's be honest, is a level, maybe even 2 levels above from him. And it's pissing him off. But you know what? Players like him play better when they're pissed off. They play their best football.
He's got something to play for.
Yeah.
He was switched on. And he was switched on.
You also have to say as well, though, he's come on 3 times a sub in 3 games and scored 3 goals.
Exactly.
So he's still scoring goals. He's coming off and having that impact from the bench. So he's coming on. He's doing everything the manager asks of him. He's doing anything a fan would want of him, which is still come on, support the team, and he's scoring goals.
Currently joint top scorer, Mark. Currently joint top scorer with
absolutely. But
and do you know what I liked as well? At the end of the game,
stuff.
they played his music, didn't they? Which I liked. Because of all,
Yeah.
that was the first song they put on, just to show that we all love him still. And, you know, as much as we love Alexander Isak, you know, we still all rate Callum Wilson.
I link it back to this man having a word in his ear back. That's Radiator Russ from the Radiator Shed.
Where's he been? I ain't seen him for ages.
Yeah.
No, I do be chatting to him. He's working hard. He's got some new range radiators out actually, and he's got special ones as well. I can't tell anyone about, but you will see him. You'll see him next week, next Saturday night. He's coming to meet us, and anyone else that's going to be there as well. Have we told people we're going to be? Actually,
no, but
I think we probably should do.
We'll do the questions later.
Yeah, there's loads of people in the chat asking about it.
Cool. So, anyone else want to talk about Wilson's goal? Or we move on?
Move on.
Okay, let's
6-1.
go.
6-1.
Yeah, okay. Burn and Trips came off on 69th minute. Gordon and Mankio on. Shark was going to come off, it's still on, but he eventually came off 2 minutes later. Lascelles on. Gordon had a shot, saved from the keeper, 78 minutes. I didn't write nothing else down because that was it. The game was over.
Couple of inches higher, that was it.
So, it'd have been great to have him bag a goal today.
Yeah,
it was.
Bag a goal.
Good cameo though. Good cameo.
He played well, but this is it, Chris. This is it. This is what Anthony Gordon should be playing for us before the end of the season. Coming on and doing exactly what he did, full of energy, full of work rate, full of determination to want to score a goal or contribute to the team. This is where you're going to get his best football right now. And then next season, you develop him as a first team player, starting matches beyond that. Like that's for me is what you do. And he was unlucky not to score.
Unlucky not to score. Yeah.
I would love him to save it for Thursday.
The winner at Goodison will be perfect.
And you're gonna be there, Chrissy boy. You are gonna love that if he puts that one.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
You love it even more if he kisses the badge afterwards.
Oh,
yeah. You'll have to keep quiet in the home end again, Chris.
There was another alert though. When not everybody got this, but did you get this one? Oh, not that one. This one. Yes.
Hey.
We all got that one.
Yeah.
I got that one. They got that one.
Nice. So yeah, that's it. 6-1 Newcastle. 6-1 Newcastle. And let's go to the Opta top 4 predictor because this is so highly accurate. 88.5% chance that we are qualifying for the Champions League. Imagine that. Wow. Looking good though, boys. It's looking really, really good.
Yeah, it is.
But cue then the team celebration with a photo we always love to see, and can't see Murphy there. Can you? If you zoom in, you can kind of see him. There he is. Yeah, there he is. He's still in shock, and he's going to wake up tomorrow morning just like that as well. But here is the Premier League table, how it's looking, and we definitely need some music behind that one. Here we go. We're sitting in third after 31 games on 59 points, ahead of Manchester United, who have a game in hand over us. Look at our goal difference, plus 29. Spurs on 32 games played, 53 points. So we are 6 points ahead of Spurs. Lads, after the games yesterday, it's looking a hell of a lot prettier now as well. Thoughts on the table?
Yeah, I think it's where we deserve to be. 6 wins out of the last 7. Can't really say any more than that, can you? I think, you know, we it's still all in our own destiny. We've got 7 games left, 4 of which are at home. I don't see no reason why we don't get that. Not only a top 4 position, I think we finish in 3rd. Because there's so many games. Pete, we were talking about this the other night, mate. There's so many of those other teams that got to play each other. Like Spurs and Liverpool, I think is next weekend or during the week.
During the week.
They've all got to play. Man United now obviously going to the cup final. that extends them into another game. That plays into our hands. How will Brighton be affected after going out of the cup? Villa got beat by Brentford, so in amongst those batches of games, everybody else outside of us has got to play each other, and they'll all take points from each other. So I think we're in real prime position, I think.
Any other thoughts on the table or the remaining fixtures?
I never thought I'd say this so early on, but I think it's ours, boys. I felt today has felt like a pivotal day, and the fact that we've done it in the manner we've done, all barring a complete disaster, I think we've got top 4. I think it's in. I really, really do. With the fixtures we've got coming up,
if we take 6 points next week, if we take even if you took 4, let's say we get a draw at Everton and we beat Southampton, I think it's done and dusted at that stage.
Tottenham are all over the place, mate. Absolutely all over the place. Liverpool have got too much to do, as Pete and I have discussed. Pete's allayed my fears.
Man United are as well, Chris. They were brutal today. They were awful. They were playing long ball without Weghorst on. All game.
Yeah, Liverpool needed us to drop points today.
Yeah,
they needed us to drop points today. We've got Everton on Thursday. And United go away to Tottenham, so either one of them are going to drop points regardless. So if we get a win there, that's just going to propel us even more into a more positive position. And then Tottenham play Liverpool at Liverpool on Sunday. Yeah. So one of those two is going to drop points, ideally a draw. We beat Southampton, which really we should be expected to do, but nothing's a given.
No.
Southampton proved that on Friday.
Played fantastic against Arsenal.
They were outstanding, by the way.
Yeah.
But equally, I think they're not playing against a team that is well drilled defensively as well as ours. I think we've got better defense. We've proved it this season, and I think we can hold them off. But we win those next 2 games, as Mark said. I think it's done. I do. I genuinely.
Liverpool were so lucky the weekend. So lucky with that game.
Yeah.
They should have been beaten too.
Should have got a point. Flores should have got at least a point out of that game. Yeah. At least a point.
And they'll drop points.
Hit the bar at the end as well. Brendan Johnson hit the bar towards the end of that game.
It's not. We're not talking transfer show, but I tell you what, I was watching really closely in that game at Anfield. Morgan Gibbs-White.
He's a player.
He's a
player. Yeah. And if Forest go down, he will. Don't get me wrong, he was signed for a hell of a lot of money, more than what he was worth. But
50 million.
He is a player. English, young, midfielder, can score goals, dynamic.
Yeah. The other lad as well that's going to leave Liverpool that went there from Fulham, Carvalho. I like him as well.
Yeah.
He's going to go end of season.
Teams are going to be looking at him. Not saying
would he be an alternative to Maddison, Pete?
Yeah. I think he will. Look, I'll put that Maddison conversation out here now, and I'll make it really quick. If Maddison prefers a move to London to go and play with that shit,
he's not going to Spurs now.
Let him go. If Maddison wants to go and make his partner happy to take him down to London to play for that shit, let him go. Because there are other alternative players that are just as good as him that can come into the team. I'm a big fan of Maddison. He's playing in a shit team at the moment, and he's not playing at his full potential. He's not being coached to his full potential at the moment, but he's still playing well when he puts on the shirt for Leicester. But if he wants to prioritise going down to London to play for that, fine, because we'll find someone else equally as good as him. Genuinely. They would. They are child.
There's no comment on that one. Lads, because I kind of fast forward the table and the games there. We can revert back to that game. But I zoomed over. I didn't even talk about ratings, but ratings today, it's going to be 10s all around the board.
I'm just giving 10s, yeah. That's it. That's it. If we're doing ratings, I'm giving 10s all round.
To be honest, I had 11, 12s, and 13s.
What we could do? Do you want to do man of the match? Man of
the match. Okay, for me, I'll go first. So for man of the match, for me, it's Joe Linton. Big Joe 7. goal. He got a goal, and the touch. We mentioned the touch, the juicy touch earlier, and he got an assist as well. And that was only after 8 minutes. But he stayed on the pitch for the full game, and he was just solid all over. J7, my man of the match.
Was he?
Oh, yeah.
It's ass.
It's
I walked into
not
that one.
going well. It's not going well here.
And that was the
I
touch.
I delete that bit. That's
After
true.
the
Yeah.
touch.
Was he?
After the touch, he was solid, and then he was juicy.
All over.
How was it that bad? For fuck's
Yeah.
sake?
I swear to we've all had a few
Oh, for
lagers
Pete's
next
sake.
week. Oh my god,
For Pete's sake.
what is going to happen?
And anyone gone for anyone else other than Julian? And you can even have this man who has got an awful lot of dogs that needs to be walked. Mr. Isaac, each week he gets another dog. Or he might even have 2 by the end of this week. But anyone else? Pete, who's your man of the match?
Jacob Murphy. I thought it was outstanding today.
Even he's surprised.
Yeah, I thought it was outstanding today. Look, he was poor against Villa, poor against Brentford, but I tell you what, he didn't come back with a performance today. He was brilliant. I just, you know what, he's really grown on me. His passion, his determination to do the best for the club. But you know what I love? You know, when he gets subbed off, it's the G'ing up of the players that's coming on. He's going, come on. Honestly, it's infectious. It's infectious. That sort of stuff doesn't happen regularly. And we have that in abundance, not just with Murphy, with Bruno, with Isaac, with all these players that do come off the pitch. There's that infectiousness of that determination of wanting to be better.
You know, it just genuinely loves putting the shirt on.
Yeah.
And he loves the club and he loves the city. And I think if the kid's got that, that's all you need in my book to be a winner.
He realizes, Mark, that this is it for him. And this is not me shitting on him, because I've really grown to really like him as a person, and he's putting performances in. But for me, the way he's performing at the moment is that he knows that once this moment, whatever it is, finishes with Newcastle, that it's only going downhill for him.
It's his career. It's a high career high for him at the moment.
He knows himself. He ain't going anywhere next year, and he knows he could get and have an opportunity to play in the Champions League. Now, all he has to do is look at his twin brother who's playing in League One at the moment and realise that things can change very quickly. And that's not on a disrespectful level. That's just on a genuine professional level. Now, he's been lucky that he's had loan moves that have worked out, and he's been able to be in a position to play for Newcastle now. And he's taken it by both hands, and he's holding on to it as hard as he possibly can. And fair play to him, because he could well be playing Champions League football next season, which for him, nobody would have thought that. Nobody would have thought that a year ago. Nobody. But he's genuinely in an opportunity. And it's that relationship there. He has a handshake, an understanding. When he came off and he shook Almiron's hand, he's got a special handshake with him. He's got one with Willett. He's got one with Isaac. He seems to be that locker room leader where he's created like a positive atmosphere in there. He seems to, everyone talks about him as being a really funny comedian type of guy that keeps things upbeat. Like,
I know how he feels.
Yeah. Yes.
I know I'm laughing at that.
Although I don't know about what happens in the locker room.
What are we talking about? Man of the match. Martin, who is your man of the match?
Do you know what? I think they were all good contenders today. I think Joe Linton, got the goal, got the assist, bossed the middle of the park. But I think just pipping him fractionally, and only because of the pass for Isak's goal, I'm going to give it to Willock, because I thought he never stopped today. I thought he was world class, worthy of an England berth. I think the pass, as I said, will not be talked about enough. If it was De Bruyne into Haaland, it'd be all over the TV, Sky and the papers and everywhere else. It'll be all over TalkSport tomorrow morning. It'll be gushing over it. So for Willock, for me, I thought he was class today. I think he's just getting better and better and better.
Nice one. Just a reminder, if you just joined, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. Richie, who is your man of the match?
I'm going to go for completely left field. I'm going to say Christian Stiolini for the 5 assists in the first 20 minutes.
I don't have a picture of him.
No, in all seriousness, I've got to agree with Mark. I thought Willock was outstanding today. He proved why he deserves that England cap. And as he just mentioned, we both said it during the build-up for the fall. Anyone makes that pass, apart from obviously Willock, people, all the pundits on TV and stuff like that would be creaming in their pants. Seriously, it's just literally the fact that it's Willock, and people have got to realise now that he's got to be taken seriously as a future England international. He was quality today, and he's that energy, the energy that him and Longstaff put in that midfield together, the combination they've got. With Bruno as well, lets him have a more of a free role. You can't underestimate that. Now, we saw how important it was when Longstaff wasn't there last week. How we missed him. We've seen it when Willock's been missing. When he had, just before the cup final as well. They are integral to the way that midfield run, and he was exceptional there.
Chris, your man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with any of your boys' ones. I mean, it could have been Joe Linton, who was really close fit for me. Could have been Isak. Could have been Bruno. Could have been a number of players. But I think for me, it's got to be Joe Willock. It's got to be Jacob May. He scored our first goal to get us in the lead, and then that third goal was just unbelievable. And I think they were 2 very key goals today, because obviously first one's putting us in the lead, and as soon as it was 3-0, you knew the game was done. You knew it was done. So I'm going to give it to Jacob Murphy. Absolutely brilliant. But so many great performances today. Like really good. As a team, it was first class.
There you go.
Class. Richie, I'm going to go to you next because you asked me to put this up, and it's the scorers. The who scored and the assist. So talk us through this, Richie.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. This is the obviously top goal scorers for Newcastle this season. As we mentioned before, and Pete brought it up again. We talked about a few weeks ago. It's the first time in Premier League history that we've had 3 goal scorers in double figures. And to be fair, they can kick on even more. And if Joe Linton continues his rich vein of form, he could make it 4. Because he's only 3 goals off himself. But I think the interesting fact is, if you look at our 2, centre forwards, really. One's got 11, one's got 10. And you look at Isak, bear in mind how many he's got 100, averages a goal every 113 minutes. That's an exceptional record. Bear in mind, obviously, he's new to the league. He's never played in this, a team that's like with this caliber. You've got to look at the start of the season. It was a lot. Half the squad were new to each other. They hadn't played together before. He's been injured as well for a while as well. Obviously got that really bad thigh injury. He was away with Sweden, and he came back and got concussion when he obviously got hit in the head during the Southampton game. So he had a bit of a stop-start to his career as well. So that just, you look at it and think, Jesus, that what's to come from him, for the rest of the season, and then obviously going forward. Obviously Almiron had a fantastic start of the season and probably carried the team when Wilson and Isak weren't in the team and weren't scoring goals. But then obviously Wilson's come back and hit form recently as well. But it's fantastic to see that all the goals are getting shared around, from the midfielders who stepped up their part in various different positions as well. It's just great to see the variation of goals on that list.
I'd like to see the defenders in there a bit more, though. Keep saying it. For the hype we've got, Botman, Byrne, Sharp. I'd like to see a bit more from our defenders, because not enough from corners would be. Yeah. I think we look at
the assist column there. Look at all the assists all around the team.
Yeah, Willock and Bruno.
5 assists from Willock.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
also
goals on his record, but 5 assists already this season.
Yeah, exactly. I think the other thing to say that should be mentioned that probably won't get mentioned as much is 9 of that 11 today were here when Steve Bruce was here. So anybody that says that team is all about the money that the owners have pumped into the club, no, it's not. It's about one man who has coached and improved 9 of that 11. Outside of Isak and Gamerish. It's
What's
the
this?
same 9 over there. Can't see that.
Exactly what Mort has just said.
Oh, there you go.
I'll read it to you. Ed, or Fancy Ed is what his tag is. He's put Newcastle are top 4 because of Saudi money, quotations. And then he's got well played to Shaw, Longstaff, Murphy, Joe Linton, Wilson, Willock, Amiron, Lascelles, and Mankilio, who Mike Ashley bought and all played today. So you can call
Throw the money
bullshit
handle all you want.
every other fucking team that calls us out for spending fucking money.
90% of that team today were Bruce.
And linking into that, and I'm going to quote you what you sent on to us, Chris, in the chat. Someone had a tweet out saying, I think it was Rob was his name, is what is the point in having all this money if Howe is going to turn our shite players into world beaters? Well, it's happened. It's happened. Class.
Rob was on the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, a touch of sarcasm in that, I think.
I liked it, though.
Exciting.
I did like it.
It is like it is a good one. Right, let us go, Pete. I'm going to come to you next and bring up another topic. And on this topic, if this is about Danny Rose, and if you watch the bit after the Sky when Trippier was talking to him, he did let out of the bag that he's going drinking with Kieran Trippier after the Southampton game. So come on, where's our invite? We're in town as well. Yeah, bring it on. We're going on that party as well. And I know Danny Rose knows all the best fish and chip shops in Newcastle, so we'll have some of that as well. But Pete, what did you want to touch on?
Yeah, well, firstly, we'll keep close eyes on where they're going for a few beers after the game because we might tag along. We'll see. But on a serious note, there's a lot of people talking about Danny Rose today and how he kind of came across on Sky Sports. And to be honest with you, I was really, really pleased to see him on there. I was really, really pleased to see how well he talked about Newcastle United, talked about Trippier, and the way the club's going. I loved the comments that he made with regards to Eddie Howe. Not the fact that he asked if he needed a third choice left back, but the fact that he watching Newcastle United today, and he was quite open and honest and said he'd not watched a lot of football over recent season.
Hadn't watched the World Cup or anything.
But he watched Newcastle today, and it made him fall in love with Newcastle United. Now, we have opinions about Danny Rose, about his time at Newcastle United on loan. And it says there, I haven't watched a lot of football this season, but watching your team has made me fall in love with football over again. So he said, so thank you. And he said that directly to Eddie Howe. Now, like if you watched Danny Rose and you watched how he came across and how he spoke, there is no doubts in my mind that he has been suffering with some form of mental health recently. It's very, very clear. And we on the channel, Richie, Mark, you spoke about it quite openly and quite honestly about mental health in general. And I was it was really emotional for me because I really felt like all the stuff with Newcastle when he played for Newcastle was put aside for me. It was put aside. Not interested in that because when someone is not in the right frame of mind, someone is not in the right feeling to play football or has fallen out of love for football, you're not going to play to your full potential. And the fact that he came in and he was quite open and honest and said that made him fall in love with football again, that told me everything I needed to know about him as an individual, but it shows how much of an impact our club has had on somebody. And it makes me feel sort of warm-hearted that performance today and the way we've played this season has changed someone's perception of football and changed their life, because there's no doubt that he's suffering in some way, shape or form, in some form of mental health. And if that moment today, him being on Sky Sports and witnessing that with his good friend, his very, very good friend Kieran Trippier, play that type of football, for me, if that can make a difference to his life, I'm happy for that. I'm more than happy for that. And I'm happy to see that happen. He doesn't have to do anything in the future related to Newcastle United, but if that makes him happy and that changes his life and that can put something positive on his life that can move him forward in a positive light, I'm good with that. And I think regardless of our opinions on Danny Rose and his performances at Newcastle, we need to put that aside because the person is more important than what we remember him putting on a black and white shirt. And I think that was really, really important. And I messaged it. I sent it over to Daz and I said, it's important that we mention this tonight. As a Newcastle United channel, as a group of fans that support Newcastle United the way we did, we watched him play for the club. It wasn't great, but it's very, very clear that there was other things going on in his life at that time. And for me, I'm willing to put that all aside and see him as the person he is right now.
I think. Sorry, Daz. I think. Listen, you four guys know, me and Richie have had our own personal troubles in the last 12, 18 months. And I think the thing that I saw watching Danny Rose today reminded me of my personal troubles, reminded me of going through bad patches. And, I've spoken to all you lads privately. I've spoken to like Sir Jules and Lisa and people in the chat who've DM'd me and stuff. You need something to hang on to. You need something that just pulls you out of a dark hole at a moment in time. And it can be just something so simple. And what I saw today was that at that point today, Danny Rose got that something to hang on to. And I genuinely hope that the guy comes out of it well, regardless of whether he played well or not well for us. It's irrelevant. He's a human being. And I think he's got that something to hold on to now. So I wish him all the best in whatever recovery or whatever he needs to do. And I genuinely say this in all honesty. I hope somebody watching that game today and watching him speak like that, even if it's lower league, give the guy a job around the club somewhere, help him develop kids. He's still got plenty in him. So even if he got a job coaching lower league or helping out defensive coaching or anything else, give the man an opportunity to do what he loves and give him a second chance.
Taking that, Martin, and I'm going to go a different route. I'll bring it because that's serious stuff. We can give him a job because if he brings us out on Saturday night, on Sunday night with Kieran Trippier, he can play for us on Saturday in the charity game because we are looking. We are looking for players.
I will happily substitute for him after 3 minutes, no problem.
So Danny Rose, there's an offer you can. But will he be in the squad? Will he? That is a question that we'll have to ask tomorrow.
Who knows?
What's happening there tomorrow, Pete?
Well, tomorrow night, to be fair, it was only that we could fit it in because we have got a stacked week this week in the build-up to us coming to Newcastle. But yeah, the squad is going to be revealed. We are going to know who is going to be representing Loaded Mag NUFC on the show tomorrow night. We may have some special guests coming and joining us, but also we may have an opposition's view as a bit of an away days, as Daz quite rightly said. So hopefully, fingers crossed. In fact, not fingers crossed, we will have an opposition's view because Lee from Newcastle Fans TV will be coming and joining us and giving the lowdown on all things Newcastle Fans TV. We're going to push him on who he's got available in his squad because they've been very, very quiet on their squad. They've not said anything.
Yeah, hope they don't have Danny Rose.
Yeah,
Danny Rose, contact us. Call us.
Maybe
if there's any ringers in their team and we get there on Saturday, it's going to fucking go up. I can tell you that.
but no, it's going to be a great show. And we'll announce the squad and we'll talk about things.
We'll have a laugh.
What's going to be happening on Saturday, and it's going to be a laugh more than anything. And you know what? As you guys have said quite well, it's for a great cause. And the last I saw, I hadn't checked it today, being honest. We were so close to hitting our target. So if you haven't yet contributed or given a donation as small as it possibly could be, right at the top of the chat, Daz is quite rightly put in the Just Giving page, and it's got the link, it's got everything you need in. Come and contribute to the channel because, contribute to the the donations
there it is.
for Gateshead Food Bank, because we are so close to our target. It is £200. Every little helps. And we have the opportunity to put in a gift, which then the government have to back up and obviously contribute to it as well. So please make sure you do that. And like I said, we're going to have some fun kicking the ball around, but it's all going to a much worthy cause.
Now, we have questions to come now as well. But look, while we're on the what's coming, let's tell you what's coming out. So that's tomorrow night. Monday is our squad reveal. So that's, and as Pete mentioned, lots of special guests coming to join us for that one. So it should be a fun show. Then coming up on Tuesday night, because we're playing Everton on Thursday, we have away days, Pete.
We do. Mike was really, really keen to come and join us. He's excited to come on the show again. And he's coming to talk to us all about all things Everton and preview the game, the massive game on Thursday. So I'm interested to get his thoughts on Everton and how they're going to set up. Mason Holgate was sent off at the weekend, so won't be available. We're going to look at that in a little bit of detail and more. So away days will be back on Tuesday. 7:30 will be the start.
Do we want to tell people what's happening on Wednesday? That is the question. I haven't put it up in the system yet.
It was a door closing, wasn't it?
All right, let's tell people what's happening on Wednesday. Wednesday at 7:30, he's back. Pete, talk us through this one.
The main man is back. Pete Graves from Sky Sports is. You know what? We've been talking. I've been talking to him for a while, and we've been talking to him as a channel for a while to come back on. And obviously, we all know his role at Sky Sports is extremely busy, and obviously he needs to find time for his family, quite rightly so. But we're booked in. He's coming on Wednesday to talk about all things Newcastle United and bask in the glory of what's been a fantastic weekend. And yeah, I have to say, Pete Graves is not part of the squad on Saturday. But he was very close. He was very close to being part of the squad, I have to say. But he has said,
everybody tweet him.
Next time he's in. And he did say that. Said next time he is in. But unfortunately
he's on the other squad.
Imagine he was. Imagine he turns up at them.
He's got a wedding to go. He's got a wedding to go to the weekend, and so that's the only reason that he couldn't make the squad. But he was like, "Next time, let me know." He was gutted that he couldn't make it. But Pete Graves is coming to join us to talk on all things Newcastle United. So don't miss it, because it's going to be an absolute cracking show on Wednesday evening.
One important thing there, that is our 100th Loaded Mag episode.
Wow.
So we have different shows in different categories, but when it comes to Loaded Mag, we've counted them up 1 to 100, and that is the 100th show. So great to have Pete on for that one. So very interesting. Back to the first one, if you remember, lads. I think it has about 3 reviews. But so that's coming up. Right, let's go to the questions. Richie, you on the questions?
There's a few questions. There's like some really good points as well. Jimmy started off the show by saying that he thought the Loaded Mag squad could have beaten Spurs today.
I think he's right.
He's obviously, I can't disagree with him on that one. I thought it was poor performance, but it would be us that would have been to be able to beat them as well. I also just want to see, while we're talking about the game next week, Clarkey 697 wants to know what the time the kickoff is. Also, for a few people want to know, obviously, where's it going to be and stuff like that. So obviously, Jules put in the chat, obviously, where the location is. Pete, do you want to reveal details about what time kickoff is and spectators, etc.?
Yeah, the Newcastle Foundation is the place where the game's taking place. So the NUFC Foundation, get yourself there if you can. We're looking at around 50, 60 spectators maximum. So if you are looking to get yourself involved and get down there for maybe just before 12 o'clock, because 12 o'clock is kickoff time. So it's 12 till 1, and we've got we're sort of having 25 minutes, half time, another 25 minutes. So it'll be around 1 o'clock ish that we'll finish the match with Newcastle Fans TV. So get yourself down there. You'll be able to watch the game. We'll be around as well afterwards, and no doubt we'll be going for a few beers after the game because we'll probably need it. Probably we will need it.
We will need it
just to recover. But look, get yourself down there. 12 o'clock, Newcastle or NUFC Foundation. And you'll see us at Newcastle Fans TV. We'll be recording some content as we go along. Newcastle Fans TV, looking at potentially streaming it live. I know Lee's looking into that. We can ask him some more questions with regards to that tomorrow. As we get him onto the show, he'll be coming on later on in the show because we're going to have the squad reveal. The first part of the show, and then Lee, once he finishes work, will come on later on to talk about the opposition's view. But yeah, as Jules said, we'll be doing some sort of recordings as we go along. Maybe not filming the shots to camera ready for the match. I don't know if we'll have time to do that, but look. We'll be looking.
We're doing these. We should record these.
Do you know what? I've just put it in the private chat. Then, boys, we'll have to all do these at home and get them ready for the show.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. That get them all ready. Our goal celebration.
Yeah.
Who's putting it all together?
Richie.
Well, we can all just send them in, can't we? Just send them in.
Really. Right. Next question.
Just another fact, David Cook was just wondering, Lisa, was that you with the flag? I didn't have my glasses on. Now, if anyone who wasn't watching, me have obviously seen the woman that was running along with the black and white flag out when it went to 5-0. Obviously, we know it wasn't Lisa, but obviously I saw that in the chat. I thought it was rather funny on that one as well. A couple of other things. Right, now this is going to split the panel, right? But two people have mentioned it, and I've got a feeling it's going to happen at some point this season, okay? John Norton, that score deserves a zebra dance. And Geordie Mick has also said the zebra has to come out of retirement for that 20 minutes. So
it was special.
Yeah, it definitely was. Don't think we can argue with any of that. Where really it was a fantastic performance as well. So yeah,
I didn't really want my singing to come back. I don't know why I'm so keen for it. I just like the zebra.
Depending on what shows we have, that may be a possibility. I can't say anything more.
Yep.
Surely, if anywhere.
It's like what?
Yeah. if it makes a reappearance, surely it's got to be the 100th show.
If it's going to appear, it would have to be them, wouldn't it? Peak days.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I can't say anything more. I'll say it off here.
You might dial out, to be fair.
That's true.
Right. Let's move on.
Just want to give a shout out to Phoenix Pork Pie. He's a new subscriber. He's been watching a while, so hello, lads. United 6, Tottenham smashed Spurs 1. Couldn't be happier to a nice set of fans. Thank you very much, Phoenix Pork Pie. Fantastic that you decided to become a subscriber. You'll get all the alerts every time a show goes live from now on, or whenever we upload something. So
it's not Tottenham. It's not Tottenham. It's Tittingham.
Tittingham smashed Spuds. Yeah. This was interesting fact. You mentioned during the show as well. Joy 2 for life, just equaling something that John Askew said. No, it wasn't a record. Man City scored 5 goals in 18 minutes against Watford. The difference is we got 5 against Spurs, which is a higher caliber team. So that's a record in itself. Yeah. So, but it was actually a Premier League record for the first time anybody had scored 3 goals against Spurs in 8 minutes, if you want to go like that. So that was a Premier League record that we did set this morning. So if anyone saw that, or heard that, it was a fantastic little stat that we had there as well. Right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty about this. There's a couple of people, obviously. 9 NUFC turned around and says he thought Longstaff was an unsung hero today. Anyone else agree with that?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Great to have him back.
It's a good show.
Absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Great to have him back.
Sean, is it Lovac? Yeah, Lovac. All the pundits saying how poor Spurs were, but all 5 goals we scored were top class. It's still the same. I don't think Newcastle get the credit they deserve sometimes. It's always that the opposition are poor whenever Newcastle turn on. It was like You know, you look at the West Ham game a couple of weeks ago. It was the fact that West Ham were poor. It wasn't the fact that Newcastle
always that,
fall
Ricky.
apart. It's
always that. We don't play well; they play poorly.
It's the top 6, lads. It's the top 6. We had exactly the same when we beat Chelsea.
Yeah.
Away at St James's Park just before the World Cup.
And the Manchester Reds.
Yeah,
same thing.
Exactly the same. And it's just like they want to focus on why those teams were playing so bad rather than recognize us. And this is why I said, I tweeted that earlier. I was like, it's about us. We were fucking class today. We were world class in our performance. We made Tottenham look bad. We put them to the sword. We are fucking massive, as that alert sounds.
Has anyone, not just Newcastle, Pete, has anyone this season had a 35 minutes like that? Because I've not seen it.
No.
I've not seen
Not
it.
at all. No. And that's why we deserve more respect, Chris. We deserve more respect because, like, we're up there and we're 3rd in the league right now. Yes, Man United have got a game in hand, fair enough. We're 3rd in the league right now. We deserve fucking respect.
A game in hand means nothing. You got to win it. You can have 10 games in hand. You got to win them.
Mark, it's not even that. We're 3rd in the league with Jacob Murphy scoring 2 goals, with an apparent Joe Linton, and we all thought Joe Linton was finished when the takeover was done. I said I thought he'd go on loan. I thought he would gone. He's come back in. Fabian Shaw. You look Miguel Almiron. You look at all the players that are running through.
Dan Burn playing left back.
Dan Burn's playing left back. Manquillo came on after 60 minutes and looked seamless in his performance. These players are coming on that were under Bruce and couldn't perform and doing a job for us. Put some respect on Newcastle United's name. All of the media and all of those people that want to shoot down the likes of Tottenham and shoot down the others. You know what? I want to give a shout out to, and some people might not agree with this, and we've talked about it before, and people don't like what he has to say, but I'm seeing a different side, and it's Luke Edwards. Now, people didn't like what he put out with regards to the story that he put out about Newcastle going ambitious in the summer. Luke Edwards hasn't been wrong a lot in the transfer window in terms of players, not budgets, players. He's been on course. But he put an article out today, and I read it. It was a really, really good read. If you haven't read it, give it a read. And he was backing Newcastle United to the hill. And he was saying Newcastle United put a performance on today that basically discards Tottenham as a top entity in this country.
Change of guard, I think, was what I heard mentioned.
Exactly. It was almost that was basically almost what he put out. And he put that out. And you know what? I thought, you know what? Fair play to you, Luke Edwards, because he didn't have to do that. But he's put that out there because he's almost sending a message on behalf of, and he's a national journalist, by the way. He's putting a message out there to all the other national journalists that follow Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, all the rest of them, to say that performance there shows that Newcastle deserve to be at the table with all of them. That performance has not been put out there by any other team at the top of the table this season. And I just thought, you know what? Fair play to you, because it was a really, really good article, and he had a lot of facts on what he said today. And I thought, fair play to you.
You might be able to get him on, Mark.
The thing is with that performance as well, and getting into that top 4 and the change of guard, as some put it today, with Spurs going out and us coming into it, we're here for the long term. This is only the beginning for us. We're only going to get stronger and better as we develop and the club grows and our ownership does what it needs to do, and we grow the business both inside and out of the football club and that pitch. It's just a start. Just to add on to what you were saying before, Pete, when you look at our central midfield and you look at our wingers, we had Joe Willock, who was perceived as not good enough for Arsenal. We had Sean Longstaff, who was about to join Everton for £1 million, if that. Then we had Joe Litton on the left, who couldn't, hit a barn door. And then we had Jacob Murphy on the right, who most people, me included, were saying, yeah, he's championship level. That's his level. And we're going to the Tottenham Hotspur. We've got Harry Kane, Kulusevski, Son, all these top players. And then we go and perform the way we did.
Kulusevski, he's got, I'm not saying he's going to come to Newcastle, but he's got a question to answer in the summer
Yeah.
because his loan finishes in the summer. And
He better hope we want him, Pete. He better hope we want him.
Honestly, he's in a position where he either goes back to Juventus or he signs for Tottenham. Now, if I'm Kulusevski, I'm thinking, I don't know which is my best choice right now. And he's hoping, like you've just said, he's hoping that another team comes in for him. Because if I'm Kulusevski and I'm looking at what Newcastle United do this season, if we come in for him, I guarantee you he takes Newcastle United on top of Tottenham or anybody else, or going back to Juventus.
as well.
I guarantee that he comes. Isaac. They must have had a conversation at the end of the game. I saw Joe Linton and Richarlison.
Pete, that is exactly what I was just about to ask you. What's going on with Richarlison? He's coming on with like 20 minutes to go, 6-1 down, and he's looking around thinking, what am I doing here?
They don't believe in him. They don't believe in him. They don't believe in him.
To be fair, Pete, it was a strange move anyway.
It was.
Realistically,
it was.
Desperation, Richie. Yeah. That's what it was.
He wants Champions League, doesn't he? He wants Champions League. He wants it out of Everton, and Tottenham have gone, oh, he's a good player. Had a fantastic World Cup. And then he's gone to Tottenham. And then Conte's gone, oh, by the way, obviously we've got Son, we've got Kulusevski, we've got Kane, so you're not going to play. And then he's going, well, hang on, when I play, I'm performing. And then Conte drops him. What message does that send out?
You're right. I'm not saying that he would start for Newcastle United, but someone like a Richarlison, I think if we'd have brought him in the summer, would have done better than what he would at Tottenham, because I think we'd have incorporated him better, but I wouldn't have taken him over Isaac. There was no way I would have taken him over. There was no way I would have taken him over Isaac. But he's like... It kind of cut to another group of players, and he was kind of talking to Joe Linton. It was almost like he was saying, like, and I might be wrong in this, but it was almost like he was just about to say, like, we are shit. Like he always said those sort of words just as it moved to another group of players, and he's right. They are shit. They are very, very shit, and we've put an alert out tonight on numerous occasions because they are shit. They are.
Jesus.
I just want to give a shout out to Peaky Boo. Thank you very much for your donations. Much appreciated. It's nice that you think that we're the best UFC channel for the best team, the best owners and fans in the world. So much appreciated for the kind words as well, Peaky Boo. I want to say a thank you to Matt W as well. Spurs fan here. Congrats on the performance today. Played us off the park in every single facet. Hope you have a good run in the Champions League next season and end Arsenal's title challenge.
Cheers, Matt.
Fair play, Matt. Fair play.
We'll try, mate.
I think we can speak from first hand last week when we got a bit of a high in last week at Villa, and some people didn't take it well and stuff like that. So it's nice to get someone on like that who compliments us in nice ways and obviously appreciates how well Newcastle actually played it. So thank you very much from Matt. That's much appreciated. Obviously,
Richie, is to be fair, by the time Arsenal come to us, it might already be over. Let's be honest. It could be over by Wednesday.
It could well be. I want to go on to this talk, but there's a few people mentioned it at the start as well. So obviously, I'll go around the houses and get what you thought. But I'll put up the four comments first. Jordy Mick highlighted the fact that there was rumours going on that Lloris had a huge bust up with his defence at half time and refused to come out. Obviously, David Torfield obviously had a major bust up with teammates and refused to come out. If that's true, obviously he's got to be gone. Adam McCarthy followed Jordy Mick's comment by turning around and saying, I heard he was looking for his phone at half time and saw an emergency alert saying more goals incoming. And also Brett Seat turned around and says, I did hear Loris had a bad back at half time due to picking the ball out of the back of the net. Look, whether it's true or not, I can imagine obviously he's a Spurs captain. He mustn't have been happy with what he was seeing in front of him. So do you think it's something that you could actually see him having a go at defence and refusing to come out or whatever? Because if obviously we know he's a professional, but obviously we know sometimes foreigners can have a temperament where they can basically throw their toys out the pram and stuff like that. And does anyone think that there's a possibility of that being true, or he's trying to push for a move away from Spurs in the summer?
I don't think he's pushing for a move. But sorry, Chris, but he did. If you watched the Tottenham thing on Amazon, All or Nothing, there's a bit on that where he has a huge, massive bust up with Son half time in a game when Mourinho was the manager, and it was all about because Son didn't backtrack, and it led to a goal against Spurs, and Lloris let him have it in the changing room. Two of them came to blows in the fucking thing, throwing water bottles and shit at each other. So I have no doubt that if that half-time piece is true, I'd say Lloris went in there and went nuts.
I don't think because he's club captain, I don't think he's refused to come out. But I wouldn't surprise. I don't think he's injured, and I wondered if the manager has took him off because he's just ripped into everyone, and then the manager's just gone, his head's gone, and he's just took him off, and Lloris has said fine. Because there's no, I don't think he's injured whatsoever, but I something's definitely gone on there. And I tell you what, just as a quick side note to that as well, Rich, that's the second time that Sarr has had an absolute howler. And you know what? I felt a little bit sorry for him actually, because 22 minutes in, he just got pulled, and you know, I think he was quite costly for them as well. So that, and you know, 2 times this season already, and then Davinson Sanchez come on and looked like he'd seen a ghost. He looked petrified, and I just thought, like, this team's it's unbelievable. But no, to answer the question, I don't think Lloris was injured, and Sutton's definitely gone on, but I would be surprised if he'd refused to come out being club captain. Very surprised.
Lloris for me is finished in the Premier League. Back to France or retire. He's been on decline for me for the last 2 years. I've noticed he's been on. I can't believe
the last few games for them.
I can't believe he was starting for them in the World Cup either for France. But yeah, in decline. I think he's gone.
Daz, you took the words out of my mouth. You literally took the words out of my mouth. When I saw Lloris was starting today, I was happy because
me too.
Lloris is shite.
Done.
And Lloris has been shite, and I've been saying this to Tottenham fans. I've been saying it to Toby. I've been saying it to him on the talk, man.
We said it to Marlon on Thursday night.
We did.
If Lloris starts, we're going to run riot. And he was like, "Yeah, listen, shite, bro. I know."
For 3 years now, he's been shite for 3 years. He should have gone a long time ago, and he hasn't. And for me, he falls into our trap. He falls into our trap because he's not good enough anymore. And the fact that he's still the Tottenham captain almost is laughable, because he has to come out in interviews like this and tell the fans how bad things are and how things are going to get better. He's not going to be at the club next season. He needs to move on. And it's been obvious and been open in that Tottenham are looking for a new goalkeeper next season. He's gone. It wouldn't surprise me. Look, Daz, you were kind of messing around and joking about it. But actually, it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't play again this season. It wouldn't surprise me if Fraser Foster comes in and sees the rest of the season out, because he's not good enough anymore.
To be fair, Pete, I thought Fraser Foster played all right when Lloris was out injured. And I thought he was harsh to lose his shirt for Lloris to come in.
There you go. There you go. I agree with you. I don't think he played too bad at all.
And if you think about it, the second half was 1-1 technically, and he couldn't have done anything about the Wilson goal because the Tottenham defenders were just stood still, and Wilson just ran. Wilson anticipated the ball going there, and he put it away. So Fraser Foster had no chance with it.
That's it. He was already, his body was moving the other way anyway to try and cover the goal, so there was no chance of people to get the ball going the other way. Question from Paul, and obviously a quick little typo on there. Well, obviously there's 7 games left. How many of those do you think? Well, obviously we're going to go and try and win all of them, but how many do you actually think we're going to win, lads?
7.
Anyone think differently than that?
Where's that chart? Where's that chart? What did we say?
Here's the chart. What
did we say?
And here, this is what we said previously. We said defeat. This is what we said. But we got a win here at Brentford. We lost to Villa as predicted. We got to say the Spurs win, Everton win. We win at Southampton. We win. We said a draw. We'd draw with Arsenal. We draw with Leeds. We said we'd beat Leicester, beat Brighton, which is now rearranged, and draw with Chelsea. But let's look at where we are and the reality of things, where we've got four wins from the 5, and this is what we have left. What are you saying now, lads? We were doing going to do a show on this at some point, but we will. But we're saying Everton. We're saying win.
After that,
Yeah.
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 Okay. Southampton, we're definitely saying win. I know it's not a given or
Yeah.
anything like that, but we're
But no, it's
Arsenal's a
written in
tough.
the stars, does
It
we're
is.
there. We've got to win.
I think we've got 4 more wins in us.
Yeah. 4.
Like as a guarantee, I think we've got 4 more wins in us as a guarantee. It could well be more, but I think there's a 4. Like Southampton win.
Yeah,
I genuinely think that. I think
tough Arsenal.
I think
Draw.
Lads,
I actually changed what we put on.
I think there's some freaky stuff going on with YouTube, lads. Just there's loads of comments coming in going that we're freezing. There's a whole heap of stuff going on, so we seem to be drifting in and out. People are losing us. Connection.
Lisa said
stream.
we're back.
Yeah,
We're back now.
yeah, it's YouTube. Yeah, but it
YouTube.
is up and down. So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's not on our side. Yeah. People blaming me. I see. Will is
no,
it that?
that's the internet.
No, they'll be able to watch it back. We'll just run through this little bit and then
Yeah. Go. So you were an Arsenal, Pete. So you said a win against Everton, a win against Southampton. We're saying Arsenal. That's what we were.
Draw at Arsenal. I think the one that I think was probably changed from what you put on the predictions. I think we win it. I think we win at Leeds.
Yeah.
I think we win at Leeds.
Leeds are shocking and shipping goals like wildfire. Yeah,
Fucking shite, man.
I actually got a DM off a Leeds lad today, and he went, "Oh my god, I'm not looking forward to playing you lot. Not after that." So I think a few will look at that. I tell you what, I think Chelsea's an easy game for us as well.
Mightn't even need it by then. But then after that, Brighton, which is now being scheduled, so the Brighton game sits in here, and Brighton, who got knocked out of the FA Cup today, so great for more games for Man United. But so what are we saying against Brighton at home? We're home.
I think that's a tougher game than we think.
Yeah,
Tougher
probably.
game, yeah.
I think that
depends where Brighton are in the league, I suppose, as well, doesn't it? Depends on Brighton.
That could be a draw.
Yeah. Hey, boys. Would you take that Matoma?
Yes.
He was outstanding today.
Yeah.
Yes. Superb.
No, man.
I like the other lad they've got as well. There's a, and we're probably kind of drifting onto different points, but I like your man. I like Matoma. I like your man that. I liked the lad in Southampton, Alcaraz.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's he is a savage piece of work. Southampton go down now. I'd be go get him.
Yeah, that's what let Southampton down. They took him off at half time. He was they should never have took him off. He was the best player that first half.
Yeah, I tell you what, he is a potential Maddison replacement.
Then we go to
Then
we go to the Pete Davey derby. Leicester at home. We're home.
Win.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Then Chelsea away.
He needs that win for Leicester. He needs that win.
Win. Just put them all green, Daz. Win.
Let's just fast forward.
I think the interesting one about the last game, the Chelsea one hopefully won't matter, but the two that are doing really well is Villa and Brighton, and they've got to play each other the last game of the season. That's going to be a really, really good, interesting one if there's European places to go for in that one, because the way things are going, Spurs could be struggling to qualify for Europe full stop at this rate.
Yeah,
Richie, honestly, I have to say that I was speaking to Toby on the 12th man, and he was honest, and he said, from his opinion, that if we beat them on Sundays in today, he thinks that they won't get Europe at all. He reckons they'll finish 8th.
Liverpool catch them.
Yeah, he said Liverpool catches them, Villa catches them, Brighton, who's got 2 games in hand on them, and I think they're only 3 points behind. He said they catch them. So he believed that they would finish 8th. And you know what? I didn't agree with him at that point. I do now. Genuinely.
Yeah. Just to follow on to that question that Rice Burnett put in the chat, he said, question for the lads, obviously, he thinks we need 4 wins and a draw to make sure Liverpool can't catch us. He also says, do you think Murphy will stay this summer, as there will be a shift in the recruitment if we make top 4?
100% Murphy stays, in my opinion.
He's not going anywhere.
He's staying, yeah. But tune in to Squad Game 3.
Yeah, I
find out.
suppose the only thing to say on Murphy, which is, you could argue if we were to get a Chris Wood, John Joe Shelby type bid, he's at the peak of his powers. If someone came in and went 20 million, I don't know. But I love Murphy at the minute. Murphy's been brilliant, so I'm not encouraging that we sell him whatsoever. But I just mean if we got a silly offer, I don't know
I
whether
don't think
we'd
there would
take it.
be. I don't think there would be. And I don't
Right.
think he would entertain it either.
Let's go
Right,
for last question. Richie.
last quick. Yeah, I've got literally 2 little fun bits here just to round up on, lads. Michael Pormar says 500 likes tonight. This is where it all gets fun. You know what?
Why is it always referred to this?
I don't know. 500 likes tonight. You can pick a load of lad to model this summer's new line of Marks and Sparks bikinis in your own living room. Daz getting lathered up with SP40 is a sight to see.
Yes, Michael, lowering the tone again. We already lowered the tone ourselves tonight, but go to another level.
My name ain't on it, so that's that. Fair enough.
The in-tune trade, I just wanted to finally ask Ted, obviously, he knows we're over it next week, and just basically want to know where we'll go for a pre-match pint. The pre-match pint, we won't actually be having one before the game because we are in hospitality, so we will be going to the crowd.
Speak for yourself.
Go on,
I will be having a pint pre-match.
Martin will be
anyway. Even if it's walking up the road, even if it's walking up the road from the hotel, I'll be stopping for one on the way.
Martin's pre-match.
You can't say a pink lane though, mate.
My pre-match is starting on Saturday.
Exactly.
Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning.
This is what I was going to say.
Before the game.
We are going to be going out on the Saturday night.
Mark,
do you want to tell people where we've decided to meet on the Saturday night if people were interested in coming across and have a drink with us?
Yeah, so I think our plans, obviously we've got the match, the charity game, and then I think some of us are going to go and get checked in and drop bags and do all that kind of stuff. And then I think we're going to pop out then and have a couple of beers and watch whatever the afternoon game is. I think we said, didn't we?
We did.
So we'll find somewhere for a bevy. The 5 of us are going for a bit of dinner, just the 5 of us on Saturday night. And then around about 8:30, 9 o'clock or so, we will be in the Akenside bar down by the quayside from about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So if you want to pop down and you want to come and meet, have a pint with us, have a bit of crack, have a laugh, then we will be in and around there. And I know Jules in the chat keeps DMing me and saying we also have to check out Bob Trollops. So, yeah, we may go Akenside and then somewhere else, but we will be out on the Saturday evening. So, yeah, come on out, have a pint with the lads. We'll be out until we fall over. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
You say you're on your own, but me and Chris have got the missus. We've got the wives with us. So,
yeah, well, see, I'm just purely on a whole lads weekend, so I know
we're not.
Yeah.
So
the girls are coming for dinner with us, yes, but the boys will be there. But we'll all be in the pub afterwards, and we're gonna have a bit of crack, but it'll be nice. Because as we have said numerous times, and I'm gonna run after this. It will be the first time that all 5 of us have been together since we started the channel. We've never all been together.
And we could, by the end of the game against Southampton, we could nearly be in the Champions League, lads. Yeah. It could, if results go our way.
After that game, will we be going out again drinking?
Yeah.
We are. Oh, my God.
Definitely are. Right, Martin, I know you have to run.
I do, yeah. I'm going to pick me all the stuff. I got to bail, boys.
We'll just shout out to the sponsors. So, yeah, just shout out to and lose the comment there. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so shout out to the radiatorshed.com. And you know at this stage, the story with Russ and the Radiator Shed as we put Chris and Richie in jail, but there's some new pictures because Russ sent me on some new pictures. So look at these for ads. Look at these all colorful ones. So go check that out. Get on to the Radio Shed. Yeah, they are cool. And there's something really.
Fucking
Yeah, there's something really special coming, Pete, and you not today, but when it's all together, when I'm allowed to put up the pictures, something really cool. Yeah, so check these out. Loads of different styles and colors. Yeah, this one you would have seen before. So yeah, get on to Russ. He sorted Callum Wilson out, and he'll sort you out as well. So all your heating needs, and if you need to get them installed, Install Works will sort that out as well. It's also through Russ. So that is the radiator shed. Then on to H2O Bathroom Design, the Northeast's largest supplier of Velcro and Botch bathroomware. Team Valley Gateshead, over 20 years established, ran by the family. Get down to the showroom on 11th Avenue, Team Valley State, Gateshead. And yeah, we need to give you a shout, Richie. The filth that was coming on this show tonight. But yeah, so yeah, and here's pictures of the lovely bathrooms that are available. You know what to do if you need to get started with your bathrooms. The lads will sort you out there at H2O Bathroom Design Co. So that is shout out to the sponsors. We've already said what's coming up, but just another quick reminder: tomorrow's show, no high heels, Geordie Tune for life. I'll leave them at home. But yeah, tomorrow is Away Days squad reveal, and as Pete mentioned, there are some special guests coming on that show. Not just one, a number of special guests. So tune in for that, who will be playing in our game on the 29th on the Saturday. So also, as Pete mentioned, we've Away Days on the Tuesday at 7:30, and we Peak Rays on the Wednesday at 7:30. We won't have a show on the Thursday because it's the match. We'll be back again for another show or two on the Friday. So because it's busy there this week, and I've got to get on a plane at 2:00 that morning then as well. So or not get to the airport, or leave to go to the airport. So
could well be double whammy, because I spoke to Mike, who obviously is the match vlogs for Southampton, looking at potentially doing Away Days, but we have to do a review as well, of course.
Yeah,
on the Everton game. So it may well be a double whammy on the Friday, because on the Saturday we're not doing anything other than playing football and getting smashed. So we'll try to protect the Friday as much as we can. We'll see what happens. But I have to say, guys, in the last half an hour, another 10 subscribers. So absolutely top stuff.
Thanks everybody.
For all those that have subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we are literally hold on, let me have a look. We are 650 away. 650 away.
Nothing. We can do that.
From 6K. Let's get us up there as quickly as we can. Come on, get us up there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Lots of amazing content over the next week. Get involved.
Sure is. So that's it for tonight. Thanks everyone who donated as well throughout the show, and anyone who with comments and questions and everything. And make sure you hit that like button on the way out. That is it. I guess it's just one last thing to say. How'd you like that? 6-1! 6-1! Oh, Champions League, baby!